So this chapter is all about sequence and series. So basically, you have a list of numbers, and then you want to figure out what the other numbers are. But first, we need to start with some vocab. Sequence and series. So sequence means an ordered list of numbers. And this is not just any kind of list. It has to have a pattern. So not like I just say 1, 8, 4, 17, 23. So that's not there's no pattern to it. So we don't call that a sequence. Sequence has to have a pattern, and it's a list of numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a list of numbers, and there's a very specific pattern. We add 1 every single time. Series, on the other hand, means the sum of the sequence. So basically, we take that list of numbers and we are going to add them together. So for example, the previous example of 1, 2, 3, 4, we're just going to go 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on. So the difference between sequence and series is a little hard because they both start with S. Sequence is a list. Series, you add them up. Okay? All right, there are two kinds. We're only going to study two kinds. If you end up in calculus and we go to BC, then you're going to study all the other kinds of sequence and series. But for this class, only two kinds. You guys are like, no calculus. Okay, so the first one is called arithmetic. Arithmetic is the difference between consecutive terms is constant. The difference, so we're going to call it difference. Arithmetic means to get to the next number, you're going to add or subtract. So if you want to just kind of make a really big note, it's going to be add or subtract to get to the next number. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. You add 1 to get to the next number, or like our warm-up or the activity, add 4 to get to the next number. So when you add or subtract, we call that arithmetic. It's an arithmetic kind of sequence or arithmetic kind of series. Geometric. Geometric is the ratio between consecutive. Do you guys know what consecutive means? Yeah, continuous. So basically the one after the other. Consecutive terms is constant. So let's review the word ratio again. We just finished the chapter with ratio, right? What does ratio mean? Fraction. So basically when we divide two terms, that ratio is constant. So basically this is multiply or divide. Okay, so for example, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So what am I doing to get to the next number? Times 2. Okay, so when I multiply or divide to get to the next number, I call that geometric. So we learned 4 things so far. Sequence, series. What's the difference?
Series is the sum of the sequence.
And sum.
Yeah, list or sum. Good. List or sum. And then from those two, we have two kinds. We have arithmetic or geometric. What's the difference between arithmetic and geometric?
1 plus minus 1 is like ratio.
Yeah, 1 is plus minus 1's ratio, meaning multiply or divide. All right, so let's look at examples. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. What's next? 11, 13, 15. Oh, sorry, 13. Oh, shoot, sorry. 11, 13, 15. All right, so just like the activity, we call this first number A1. That just means you're the first one. This is the first one. And then the next number, we call that A2, meaning this is the second number. So this has to do with position. Where are you in this list? The actual number is just the value. So later, so it doesn't seem very confusing right now. Later on, people get those two things very confused. The position and the value are totally different things. All right, so on. We know that we're going to add 2 every single time to get to the next number. So the last number in this list, we're always going to call an. N meaning we don't know, but it's just kind of like the last number. So what do you call the number before that? Yeah, an minus 1, because it's 1 before the last one. All right. Is this a sequence or series? Sequence, because it's a list. What kind of sequence? Arithmetic, because we add and subtract to get to the next number. So sequence is, we already went over this, ordered list. And the rule is we add 2, or we say D is 2. D means difference. Remember, difference means subtracting, right? So D is for arithmetic. All right. We have a lot of things to go through. The next part is recursive formula. We have two kinds of formula for sequence. Recursive formula for arithmetic sequence. This, do you guys know what the word recursive means? Or recurring? Repeating, happening over and over again. So recursive means it's depending on what has happened before. Okay, recursive. So a lot of this, all this math language came from, English. So they all have like double meanings. So recursive means that it's depending on the previous term. And the previous term, we call that an minus 1, because that's the previous one. So if I only know A2, okay, in this list, list here, if I only know A2 is 3, how do I get to A3? How do I get from 3 to 5? Plus 2. Okay, so if this is too abstract, please let me know. So to get to 5, I would do 3 plus 2, right? 5 is also A3, right? A2 is 3, so I add a number.
1. Oh.
Yeah? Okay, A6. A6 is what number? 2, 3, 4, 5. 11. A5 is what? 9. How do I get from 9 to 11? Plus 2. So then I can rewrite this and say A6 is equal to A5 plus what? D, or 2, right? Then an is the same as an minus 1 plus what?
Plus 1. Plus D.
Plus D. So I'm just saying, if I want to get to the next number, take the previous number, add this much. So this is called the recursive formula. Take the previous one, add this one. You want to know what this number is? Well, take the previous one, add this much. So that's what recursive means. But let's say I didn't know what the sequence was. I know that I know the first number is 5 and D is 2, and I'm at actually never mind. Let's just say that I'm trying to find the next number, and then I'm saying, so I asked you, what is the next number? You said take the previous number, add 2. I was like, good. Then what's the previous number? And then you say, well, take that one that's before that, add 2. And I said, okay, that's great, but what's the 2 numbers before that then? You're like, well, just take that number before that and then add 2. So I am very stuck on trying to figure out what that number is, unless you have the first number. So in this formula, you need to tell me what the first number is. There are two parts to it. You got to tell me first, what do I need to add? Second, what is the first number? If you don't tell me where I start, how am I supposed to get to the end, right? Okay, so this is the formula. You have two parts. And if you want to just kind of write it on here, that way you can get everything organized. We are on arithmetic today, sequence. So next week you're going to have a formula quiz, I think. Next week. You're going to have a formula quiz. It's exactly the same. If you just memorize it, you'll be good. So arithmetic, sequence today, and we just did recursive. Yeah? Nope. Okay. Now, what if you just don't know, you don't want to just keep adding from the previous number. Let's say that you know the first number, you just want to get to the 100th number. Then you don't want to keep adding, you're going to use this formula called explicit formula. Do you guys know what explicit means, besides bad words? Huh? Exactly what he says. Yes. So explicit means exactly this. Like there's no going around, no like trying to be nice and tell you this way. Yeah, straight to the point, exactly this. So this is the explicit formula. I tell you what to do, you find it. So this formula uses basically the number n. You want to know the nth number? I'll tell you the nth number. There's no going around. We're going to derive the formula. That way you're not just memorizing formula, you know why it works, and then you can come up with the formula yourself. Okay, so let's say, so on my previous thing, we know that if you want to get to the second number, you have to take the first number plus 2, right? Like you add 2 every single time. Yes? Okay, let's say you're trying to get to the third number. You would take the first number and then you do what? 2D, right? So plus 2 plus 2. And then if you want to get to the fourth number, you take the first number and plus 3 of them, right? Okay, so just kind of like the warm-up. Yes? So basically, it's going to be the first number plus 2 times 3 of them, right? There are 3 2's. Yes. Which is going to be 2 times 4 minus 1. 4 being the n number. Okay, therefore, the formula is always, if you want to get to the nth number, you take the first number, and you're going to get to the nth number by adding in all these gaps. Yeah, plus the gap is always d units long, but there's always only n minus 1 of them. So like, for example, if you have 5 numbers, there are only 4 gaps, right? So if you want to get from the first number to the 5th number, you only add 4 gaps. Yes? Okay. So we're going to use the formula and figure out the 100th term. So the formula is an, so according to my list from the previous page, first number plus d times m minus 1. The first number is 1. D is 2. 100th number minus 1. This is going to be A100. Bless you. Okay, so that's going to be 1 plus 2 times 99, which is 199. Are you guys okay? Okay, so this is my explicit formula. So this is what you write on the organizer as well. So here, arithmetic sequences, yeah, explicit formula. Let's go ahead and look at some practice. 5, 8, 11, 14. What is the common difference, or the number you use to get to the next number? 3. Write a recursive formula. A(n) is equal to what? Recursive formula. So if you forget, you can look at your cheat sheet.
N minus 1 plus 3.
Yeah, a(n) minus 1 plus 3. That's first part. The second part is a1 is
5.
5. Okay, 2 parts to a recursive formula. First, this number is previous number plus d. Second part, tell me what the first number is. Yeah, 2 parts. All right, now write the explicit formula. A(n) is equal to first number. What's the first number? Okay, in this case, 5 plus, what's d?
3.
3 times
N minus.
n minus 1. You can try to simplify that if you want, but if you leave it like that, it's fine. Find the 15th number. A15 is 5 plus 3 times 15 minus 1.
47.
You're too fast. Count 5 seconds. Okay, 5 plus 3 times 14. So 5 plus 42, 47. All right, let's have you practice one on your own. Any questions before I let you try something? You guys are okay? You will be. All right, let's have you practice explicit formula, recursive formula. Explicit formula is a(n) equals 6 minus 3 times n minus 1. Recursive formula is a(n) equals previous number minus 3, a1 is 6. Good? Easy? All right. Let's skip the practice. We're going to go to arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean, sorry. What does mean mean?
Average.
Average. Hopefully you learned that in Algebra 1. I realized that some students, the teachers skipped the whole stats stuff in middle school. That's not good. So mean means average. So the average of 2 numbers. So for example, age. What is the missing term of this sequence? First of all, this is a little bit tricky. Like they just want you to figure out the middle number, right? But they tell you this is arithmetic. Arithmetic means what? Add or subtract to get to the next number. So basically you're adding a number to get here and you're adding a number to get here. And being an arithmetic mean means the middle number has to be the average of the 2 next to it. This middle number is 15 plus 59 divided by 2. It's the average of the 2 because there's a sequence. Anyways, so the answer is 37. Now, if you don't like it this way and you're like, I just can't understand why it has to be this way, here's what I do. Okay, so to get to the middle number, you add d, right? To get to 59, you add another d. So to get from 15 to 59, how many d's do you have to add? 2. Can you figure out what d is? 22? Okay, you guys are way too fast. Okay, 59 minus 15 is 44, so divide by 2 is 22. Now, can you figure out the middle number? Yes, because now you know you're just adding 22 to get to the next number. You can take 15 and add 22, which is my preferred way because, you know, it makes more logical sense. All right, so let's try this one. Actually, this one's too easy. Let's try this one. Find the missing value in this arithmetic sequence. This is the key. If it's not arithmetic, we have to do something different. A2, A3. This is arithmetic. Arithmetic tells you what? No. Add or subtract to get to the next number. So add a D to get here, add another D to get here, add another D to get here, right? So to get from 100 to 82, how many D's do you add?
3.
So 100 plus 3D gives me 82. Can you figure out D? Yes. After you figure out what D is, can you figure out A2 and A3? Yes. So go ahead and do that. Your homework is gonna include some sequence and series that's not arithmetic. You just have to figure out a pattern yourself. All right, let's see. What did you guys get for D? Good, -6. So then what is A2? 94 and A3? 88. Yes. All right, let's try the last one and we're done for today. A2 is 4.6, A3 is -0.8, and A4 is -6.2.